Well, this video segment's about Kamala Harris. And we're also going to time travel too. Because once again, Democrats, you're letting your emotions get the better of you. And you're revealing yourselves to be the hack frauds that you are. On this show, I've said it time and time again that a lot of these vote blue no matter who liberals, and I'm sure all of you in my audience, be you progressive or libertarian, conservative, and yes, maybe reasonable Democrats, right? Have all met the liberal who said, if I was alive during World War II, hide the Jews from the Nazis, I've been resistance to the Nazis. So there you go. I would have been one of the good white people to be part of the Underground Railroad and help free the slaves from the Confederacy. But let me just tell y'all something. A lot of these quote unquote Democrats, liberals are lying to you. They're lying to you. They would never be part of the resistance. They would never be part of some sort of freedom underground resistance. They would have been following orders. So let's go ahead and pull up this video here. It's where Kamala Harris just tells these protesters who are calling the ending to genocide in Gaza to stop. And she tells them, y'all better be quiet and let me speak.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
There they go. And they start chanting, do not come back. Do not come back. Do not come back. Don't come back. Don't talk about the genocide in Gaza. Shut up. Uncommitted voters. You do realize, to the uncommitted delegation, you do realize that you got more delegates than Kamala did. See, Kamala was selected because she was VP. Now, of course, it could be argued that, she was on the ticket was Joe Biden, but nah. See, it's really the first name that counts, the president, right? Not VP. Uncommitted voters. I think you got your answer in regards to what the Kamala administration would do. Case in point, right here again. So, wow, look at that. They're all cheering. This administration and Kamala's administration, potential administration, they're not going to do a thing to stop the genocide in Gaza. You silly goose. I mean, come on. I want to pull up this video here real quick because here's Harris talking about how Israel has the right to defend itself, even though men, women, and children are starving in Gaza and being assaulted in Gaza, being destroyed, everything.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time. We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent. What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating.
She won't be silent. But I just want to pull this up here again. This is an article from The Hill. Vice President Kamala Harris on Wednesday was interrupted by a campaign rally by individuals protesting the war in Gaza for the first time since she launched her presidential campaign. Demonstrators in the crowd at Harris's Detroit rally repeatedly shouted out as the vice president Kamala spoke to an airplane hangar packed with supporters. Kamala, you can't hide. We won't vote for a genocide. The crowd booed and drowned out the protest with chants of Kamala, I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, and I'm speaking now. I am speaking now, Harris said to applause. As protests continue up, Harris delivered a more blunt warning. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking. By the way, Kamala, listen. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Okay? But also, number two, to the progressives or anyone else that's right now getting blinded by Kamala and Walz and all this love. Wow. You know, I remember in 2016 where there's a lot of this arrogance and pride and liberals thinking they had this in the bag. You know, a lot of you vote blue no matter who people are shaming black voters and the thing that they should be subservient, Latino voters to be subservient, and now Arab voters, because Michigan is home to a particularly high Arab American population, especially in the Detroit suburbs. Some Democrats have worried the Biden administration's handling of the war in Gaza could cost them votes in the state of November because, listen, to the Arab Michigan voters, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but both parties are owned by AIPAC, okay? So, if you think the Democrats are going to listen to you, good luck. Because you both know the Republican Party's not going to listen to you. Because they're all owned by AIPAC babysitters, okay? They don't like you, they don't think about you, and they don't respect you. She told you to be quiet, even though we've done segments about many people in the great state of Michigan, especially the Arabic voters who have family members in Gaza, or lost family members in Gaza, or have no idea what happened to their family members in Gaza. Are they alive? Are they imprisoned? Are they dead? Deceased? No answer. But Kamala gave you an answer. Demonstrators protesting the war in Gaza had months followed President Biden on the campaign trail, carrying signs and shouted out in the middle of his speeches with chants of blood on your hands, genocide Joe, and ceasefire now. Which, by the way, hey, look, even though they did interrupt, even though he was senile, I'm going to be generous here. Just for some of those times, Biden was like, no, let them speak, and whatever. But even then, that was just half-hearted. Kamala was just put her foot down and did the girl boss. If you want Donald Trump to win, here, you know what? Better yet, here, let's hear it out again. Sorry, folks, if this will give you a migraine, but Kamala, take it away. Say what again?
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
And they cheered. So remember, if you ever run into somebody who says, I would have been part of the resistance against the Nazis during World War II if I was alive during that time, or I would have resisted the Confederacy and I would have been one of the good white people to free the slaves, you just smile. If you hit them with the truth, they're going to cry and rage out at you. But smile and nod and realize that you're talking to somebody who's mentally ill, because they would not do that. And before anyone says, well, gee, Kit, what would you do if you were alive during World War II or during the Civil War? I don't know. I could say this with absolute confidence. I don't know what kind of person I would be, depending on the environment where I was raised, the values that I was given, or who knows? I don't know. I would not be me. And before anyone says, well, what if you traveled back in time? Because, of course, you have some dumb liberals who would say that. Me, since I believe in, don't mess with the time paradox, I would try and figure out a way to get home and not mess with the timeline too much. I would just make it very clear that Chicago-style pizza is the best. Hey, I have to line the mood up a little bit. They're saying, do not come back, as she's laughing and smiling at them. Laughing and smiling. Now, the thing is, this is exactly who she is. This is exactly who Kamala is. All right? Because I'm going to play a couple of videos of before Biden dropped out, because this isn't the first time Kamala was confronted. Here, let's time travel. Earlier this year.
And so, you know,
You say that the administration is working for reproductive freedoms, but how can that be true when the United States is complicit in the destruction of hospitals and schools in Gaza and in content murdering? Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! You would call for a ceasefire now!
Is she needed? We have a lot of very important issues that we all must discuss, but the topic for this discussion is what we need to do to fight back against.
Look at all those quiet faces. Quiet faces in the crowd. You want to know something? A lot of liberals. I've seen a lot of liberals post this photo of, when first name Adolf, last name Hitler took the power and everyone was doing the good old salute. There's this one photo of one person, his arms like this. And I see a lot of liberals saying, be this person. Guess what? None of you liberals would ever do that. A lot of you liberals would follow orders, because I see it right here. All of you are following orders, liberals. Every single one of you, because you got twerk derangement syndrome. And I'll be clear here, look, nothing will fundamentally change, be it a Republican or Democrat in office. It doesn't matter who sits on the throne. Big banks will have the final say. AIPAC's going to have the final say. I am so sorry. Got to tell you, and uncommitted voters, especially the uncommitted delegation. You do not have a seat at the table. And I hope somebody from the uncommitted delegation hears these words. Be careful when you come to Chicago, because you're going to be bullied and harassed. You're going to be on your own. You're going to be an island upon yourselves. And you have to make a very serious decision about how you feel about this administration. But they made it very clear, even before Kamala became the nominee. You don't have a seat at the table. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm telling you the truth. Oh, she's speaking. Sorry, folks. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me go and pull this video up here.
President Biden and I have been working every day to bring this conflict. I'm speaking right now, and I value and respect your voice, but I'm speaking right now. We have been working every day to bring this conflict to an end.
Follow orders, but hey, wait, liberals, show me how good you are at following orders. Show me how good you are at following orders.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Woo! I hate that chant. Not to mention, how is this democracy when you didn't even select a nominee? I mean, let's be clear. Biden was already in. There was no primary. Biden drops out, and here comes cackling Kamala. Woo! Hold on. Say it again, folks.
Democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Travers Wolf says, bah, meh, meh. We must stop twomp. Stop twomp. Twomp will hurt us. Bah, bah, bah. That's my little sheep impression. If you can't tell, when I used to watch SNL, when it used to be funny, Goat Boy was my favorite character. Meh. Anyways. Hold on. Wait. Black Zen Show me what programming looks like. This is what programming looks like. Show me what a programming looks like. This is what the programming looks like. Follow orders. But folks, when I say things will only get fundamentally worse, I mean it. I mean it, because it's not only cackling Kamala that's dismissive. By the way, again, to anyone that's protesting the war in Gaza, the crisis in Gaza, just remember, Kamala's not going to do anything to stop it. And there's no hope for the Democrats, because I want to end this segment, and you're probably going to punch your screen, go into road rage, throw your cell phone. I'm going to say, don't do that. I'm sorry. Give it up for the nutless wonder himself, the cuck Bernie.
There are a lot of uncommitted voters right now, oftentimes young people and people like myself who are absolutely wanting to see Donald Trump defeated. The big issue is Gaza. So what can we do to convince Harris that she must take a different position now?
How many of you support the position of the Biden administration on Israel and Gaza? Please raise your hand.
No, at least people here have a functioning brain, and none of them do it. But you beautiful, beautiful morons. Bernie ain't going to do jack for you. And neither is Biden or Kamala.
How many people do not support it? Okay.
There.
Just as you said, you're absolutely right.
Now watch Bernie try and defend this, because he's a good sheep, because he wants Kamala in office.
There are many, many people who desperately want to make sure that Trump doesn't get elected and want to elect Kamala, but they're concerned. How do we change it? I will tell you that on this issue, I am a friend of President Biden, and I've been very supportive of a lot of his domestic initiatives, but on this issue, he is wrong. I can't even explain to you why there are so few Democrats in the Senate, at least. There aren't more than, I would say, 6 or 7 out of 50 or so Democrats in the Senate who are prepared to vote against money for Netanyahu. And they are, that's right, it has a lot to do with AIPAC, has a lot to do with money in politics. And by the way, poll after poll shows that the American people are not supportive of what Netanyahu is doing. And by the way, in the Democratic Party, those numbers are very, very high. So to answer your question, what we have got to do at a grassroots way is say to the Democratic Party is that the policies that you have right now regarding Netanyahu are wrong.
They're wrong. It's sort of like when an abusive spouse says, "Sweetie, can you please stop punching me in the face, stealing my wallet, cheating on me. Please stop cheating on me. Please don't break my car. And I wish you wouldn't give me STDs anymore." I know. But then that spouse continues to beat her. That's a lot of Democratic voters. And then the spouse continues to steal money. Boom. Then the spouse continues to drive the car, crashes it up. Here, one more time in case you missed it. Just so you know what Kamala really thinks. You do realize that a politician has to earn your vote. You just don't have to give it to them because they're afraid of an orange Cheeto named Twump.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking.
And all the sheep cheer, to which I have to say, sooner or later, this honeymoon's going to end. Sooner or later, there's going to be a debate in a town hall. Sooner or later, Kamala has to speak to the press. Sooner or later, people got to hear her talk, and they're going to remember, gee, there was a reason why she sucked so terribly in the 2020 primaries. Huh, remember that time when Tulsi just smacked her around? I do. So, look, you, my viewing audience, on election night, you have a choice. Choice is yours. Do whatever you want, actually. It's up to you. Want to vote Democrat? Fine. Want to vote Republican? Fine. Want to vote Independent? Fine. If you don't want to vote, hey, it's your choice too. But just remember this, liberals. You told us you didn't want us progressives here, and yet you have this nutless wonder Bernie saying we must go back, but then, Here's Kamala saying, no, nothing will fundamentally change. It's one big club, and we don't want to be part of it. And we don't owe these politicians a vote. And if you're not angry, I don't want to know why.
If you fool me once, it's because I didn't think a guard was needed. If you fool me twice, it's because I didn't learn the lesson, so it bears repeating. If you try the same play 3 times running, it's because you know what's coming, and you didn't come to lead, you came to purposefully be misleading. Democracy is dry. It's been a century bleeding. The husk is gaping open to the sky, out in the field where all the sheep just keep on circling and worrying and bleeding. They're waiting for the shepherd that they've tried to hide their faith in, but he's so appealing. They'd gladly give their fleece. It's such a freeing feeling that even when he leads them to the ledge and starts to urge them on, they're positively beaming. They were told that they were on their way to save democracy, so even as they plummet, they just gloat. They don't consider screaming. And halfway up the cliff, the shepherd's cozy little mittens wrap around the staff of shattered human hopes on which he's leaning. He shows the gentle grin that used to stir your inner spark, and he says, not me, us, as he gestures to the oligarchs. He knows that if he runs, they're going to stop him like a stolen car. And he'll easily surrender because it bought a lot of time for laying mines in all the grassroots. Suddenly, the tiniest of movements gets you blown apart. Suddenly, you're in a play that's set on an election day and voting for the fire, unaware you're playing Joan of Arc. Suddenly, the shepherd pulls the rug and slips a hood across your clueless mug, and everything goes zero dark. I'm gonna warn you once more before it's 2024 and you fuck around and find out who your heroes are. To take a step back from the herd, and you'll learn that you can spot who all the shearers are. If you really want to know the product that they're selling, I can take you where the mirrors are. If you think your voice is finally ready, I can tell you where the lyrics are. I hid them in a box I had to bury neath the cobble when they carpet bombed the promenade and raided all the street bazaars. Now all we've got's the marketplace, and you're too broke to even bother asking what the options for your treatment are. Suddenly, the raw debris of homeless human dignity will find it has 100 teeth for every badge and sweeper's arm. Suddenly, they speak in solidarity and each is armed. Suddenly, the sheep can see the shepherd for his truest form and all pitch in at once to help him buy the farm. And now it's zero dark, and all is calm and peaceful save the distant wail of sirens that approach beside the flames of dawn. Suddenly, the carrot's just a string that's on a stick, and all your movements make you sick because the prize is gone. Now we could go and flee into the forest low and meek, or we can exercise our right to feast and go and graze on Biden's lawn. Because he's been sowing seeds that seep a toxin out to sap a bit from each of us and keep on leaching decades after Biden's gone. So regardless who they summon out of hell to come and do the job, it will not feel like Biden's gone. But in that time of hopelessness, you cannot trust the shepherd when he once again comes asking you to humor him his siren song. And it's cute that you can innocently, honestly assume that's just a symptom of a system that was wired wrong, and not the standard feature, basic function, primary objective of a mass hypnosis firebomb. You don't need to know the words to cry along. Someday it'll hit you like an officer who pistol whipped their ride along. Broke his jaw and kept his job and kept it moving right along. That voting isn't red or blue or black or white or right or wrong. Voting's like a firing squad where you can choose the firearm. It's slow extinction by and large. It's Super Tuesday supercharged. It's all your futures, roots and all, just tossed out on a garbage barge. It's everybody dropping out to push the biggest oligarch. It's everybody voting fire, registered as Joan of Arc.